Hi, okay. So, good afternoon. All right, okay. So, today we are going to learn about the phonics. Okay, I'm sure have you learned about phonics? Do you know what is phonics? Okay, phonics is it's very easy if we tend to listen and look at the way how we pronounce the word. Okay, for example, I'm saying cat. All right, cat. So it does sound like c. It does sound like K-A-T. Right, but this spelling is actually C-A-T. So the C, okay, the letter C is stand for the letter K's sound. Okay, for example, another example, what I can show you. Maybe something like back. Okay, back. B-A-G. Okay, B-A-G. So back, there are people who pronounce back like back. Can you please bring my back? Can you please take my back? Where is my back? Okay, but is that right or wrong? Is that how we pronounce back? No. Okay, it's not how we pronounce back. We pronounce back like this. Back. Back. Okay, it's back. It's not back. Okay, if it's back, behind there will be a K, but this is a G, right? So it's a G at back. All right, so we call it back. So to pronounce all our word in a correct order, okay, or pronunciation, first we need to improve our phonics skill. Okay, so from what we start is we could start from A until Z. Okay, so A until Z. All right. Okay, it could be easy if we just you can like repeat after me. Okay, you can repeat after me whenever I pronounce the word. All right, and then so hold on. Like give me a second, and I will like write here. Okay, so we start from the word A. How do we pronounce A? A. A is for apple. Okay, so we call it ah. All right. A is ah. We call it apple. Okay. A. Somehow what is in A? Apple. A. X. And then apricot. Ah. Okay. So A is ah. Okay. A is ah. Now we go to B. All right. So B. B. When we pronounce B, our both lips would touch. All right. You can see B. See my both lips up and down, my upper lip and lower lip. It touch. It close your mouth. That's how we pronounce B. B. You close and you open back. Okay. B. So for B, okay, what word we could use? What about balloon? B, right? B. So B is B. Okay, balloon. What else more? Banana, right? Banana. So B. Okay, make sure you pronounce properly. B. All right, B. Okay. Now we have done for A and B, right? So A is ah. All right. A is apple. So ah. Okay. B is banana. So we call it B. All right. B. Okay. And then now we go for, hold on up. Now we go for C. Okay. What I told you C just now? C is, C is, C gives K sound. Right? C gives K sound. So, for example, k, k, k. Again, cat. All right. What else? Other than cat, we could use cam. Right? Cam, cap, cap. So can you see the C? How we pronounce the C is k. All right, k. Okay, just it's not just how to say, it's not just the sound but the way we pronounce. Okay, make sure we pronounce it properly. We don't go and say chat. We know it's C, right? It's C, but we don't say it's chat. That is not English. So we call it cat. C, cat, cat. All right, and then D. Okay, D. So for D, what can we use for D? Dog, dog, right? D, okay, d, d, d. That's how we pronounce D. D. Make sure your D is sharp enough. Okay, d, dog. What about D, 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 d? What about Daisy? You know Daisy, Daisy, D, right? What about dice? Dice. Make sure, look at my mouth. Dice. My mouth is closed and I open it back. D, d, dice, dice. Okay, so it's d, dog. All right. Now E. For E, we pronounce it eh. Okay, E is eh. Okay, for example, elephant. Okay, it's eh. We pronounce it eh. It's E, right? For example, we pronounce another word. Okay, egg. See, can you see my mouth? Egg. You know, I'm not closing my mouth at all. Egg. Elephant. Ah, ah, egg. All right. Okay. So, is it easy? I know it's easy. Okay. Just have to listen to what teacher say. All right. Okay. It's ah, ah. I'm sorry. Okay, now we go to F. We go to the word F. Okay, F. F. For F, we pronounce f. Okay, look at my mouth properly. Okay, make sure you do it like your teeth. You must just show your two teeth in front. Uh, okay, so it's fish, right? Fish. fish. Okay, what about what about fin? Fin. All right. Okay, what about fine? Fine. So no matter what, the F you have to pronounce like that. Okay. All right. Okay. Now is G. All right. G. Okay. How do we pronounce G? Okay. Now, for example, I'm going to give a last word at the end. Okay. It's going to be G, the last word. So it's, for example, just now I give you a example of back, right? Okay, we don't pronounce G. We don't pronounce G as J or G. Okay, we pronounce it as G, G, G. All right. So for G we can use back, right? Okay, bag, bag, bag. We don't say batch. We don't pronounce the G. Okay, G. We don't pronounce it batch. Okay, we pronounce it back. So that is G. Okay, how do we pronounce G? Is G. G. Can you see properly? G. Right? G. That's how we supposed to pronounce G. Okay, what about another word for G? Could be gate. See, gate, gate. Okay, gate. Or else, good, good. So if good, what is it? It's G-O, right? Because look at my mouth, it's going like O, like that. So it's good. Okay, good. So that is another word for G. All right. Now, what else? Another word for G could be game. Do you like games, right? Everyone like games. So what about how do you pronounce game? Do you pronounce it jam or do you pronounce it like gum or no? We pronounce it game. All right, game, game, game. Make sure you pronounce the G correctly. All right, all right. Okay. So now, hold on. Okay. Now we go to H. All right, H. So for H, we pronounce it like, okay, take your hand and put it right in front of your mouth. All right, you put in front of your mouth, and when you pronounce the word H, can you feel the air from your mouth? For example, you look here, okay? I can feel the air touching my hand. Okay, another word for H could be horse. Okay, so when we pronounce the horse, it will touch um, our our hand. The air will touch our hand. Ho- Horse. Look again. Horse. Hot. Okay. Can you try? Can you check it again? Hot. All right. Hot. Horse. What else? House. House. All right. Okay. So this will be the H. Okay. Now we go to I. All right. I. Okay. So it's I. 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 Okay. We are gonna pronounce it like how? I. Okay. We are not gonna change the pronunciation of the word. We are going to follow it. I. Okay, for example, ice cream. I. Ice cream. Okay, another one we could say another I. What could it be? What could it be? Can you tell any word of I starting of I? Maybe we could say what? Ice cream. Other than ice cream, okay, Italy. Okay, no, Italy the country. Italy. Okay, so I could pronounce it I, or it could be E. But it depends on what word we are talking or saying, what word we are pronouncing. It totally depends on what word it is. Alright? Okay. Um and then J. Alright. So J, are we going to pronounce it like how? Like Ju? 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 Okay, it's not Ju, it's J. Alright, it's J. It's J. We would pronounce this word. Okay? J. J. So for example, jam. J. Okay, your mouth are supposed to go like this. J. Okay, J. Jam. That's how your mouth supposed to go. So J. J. Okay. So other than jam, what else we could use? What else? Maybe like jaguar. J. Can you see my J is like J. Jaguar. Okay, jaguar. And then what else? We could also say J. Japan. Okay, Japan. Again, Japan. Again, Japan. So it's J. Again, it's J. Okay, it's J. All right. And then now we go to K. Okay, when I say K, I don't want you to get confused with the alphabet K and C. All right, don't get confused. Okay, so K we pronounce it like the same, the same. Okay, K we pronounce it like K. Okay, K. For example, kite, 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 kite. Okay, that is how we're supposed to, like pronounce kite. What else? What else? C. Sorry, K. K. It could be kite, kind. Right, kind. And then maybe king, king. Okay, look at my map properly. We call it king. Okay, king. All right. So now we go to the letter L. All right, L. So how do we pronounce L? Do you have any idea? How do we pronounce L? Any idea? We pronounce it like la, la. Make sure your tongue touch your upper what? Here. Okay, here. It touch it like that. Okay, make sure. Can you try? La, la, la. Alright, you push it. La. Okay. So what we could use for L? We could say lie. Stop lying. Lie. Can you see? Lie. Okay. And then Okay, and then L. What else in L we could use? Like, some more. Like, okay, like. We could use like also. And then light. What about light? Light, right? Okay. Now we go to M. Okay, M. Okay. So now we go to M. Okay, when we pronounce M, we are going to close our mouth. Yes, we are not going to open our mouth. For example, I'm saying mom. I'm closing my mouth, right? Okay, m. How you have to pronounce it? You close and you open back. Ma. All right. M. Okay, M. That is how we pronounce. Ma. If M A, it's ma. Meh. Right. If M O, it's mo. Mo. So make sure we close our mouth. All right. We close our mouth. Ma. 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 Okay, so now another one example for the word M could be is monkey. Okay, monkey, monkey. Or else we could say mom. Okay, we could say mom. We could say what? What else? What else we could say? We could say meat. Okay, meat. Okay, meat. And then go to the word and. Okay, and we go to the word and. So for and, how do we pronounce and? Okay, hold on. Give me 1 minute. All right. So how do we pronounce and? Okay, and you can see some word that starts from n are like mostly you have to like n. Your mouth won't be closed, but your teeth would touch. Your teeth and your tongue would touch. Okay, your mouth won't be closed. So it's like n, n, n. Okay, it's basically more to how to say n. Okay, and then like example word for n could be nail, could be nail. So can you see n? Okay, n, nail. What else? Nail, nap, right? Nap, nah, nah. Okay, nah. And then what else we could say? Nut, nut. Sorry. Okay, we could say nut. Okay, and et, nut. And then name. Right, what is your name? Okay, my name. Okay, so name. Nah, it's still the same. Nah. All right. Okay. Now we go to the word, the alphabet O. Okay, we go to O. All right. O. So for O, how do we pronounce O? Do you have any idea? How do we pronounce O? Oh, right. Oh, oh. Okay, don't close your mouth. You open your mouth and you do it like this. Oh, again. Oh. Okay. So Give me few words for the word O. The letter O. Is that maybe okay? You can say octopus. So can you see that octopus. Okay, what else? Ostrich. Ostrich. And then October. Right. October. October. Okay? And then what else? We could say off. Off the fan. Right. Off the fan. Or else we could also say on. On. Oh. So can you see all the words? Okay, my mouth is going to just be like oh, oh. Because that's how we pronounce oh. Okay? Easy, simple, right? Just have to listen and pronounce after me. You have to keep trying pronounce until you get the correct, pronunciation. Okay, till you get the correct pronunciation. All right. So now we go to P. Okay? P. We go to the word P. So, how do we pronounce P? Can you give me any word for P? Yes. Pick. Right. P. Can you see I close my mouth? P. Alright? P. You are still going to fill the air. P. Alright? So, P, you are going to pronounce it like P. P. Again. P. Again. P. Okay? So, for the word P A, right? For the word PA, we use pa. Okay, what we use? We use pa. So for parrot, can you see PA, right? Parrot. Pa. Parrot. And then, for example, pan. Right. Pan. Okay? Pan. And then maybe pale. Okay? Pale. Okay? Pale. So the next word could it the next word would be is okay. R. Okay? The next word is R. So how are you going to pronounce R? Are you going to be like R R R? No. Yes or no? Is it right or wrong? Wrong. It's not R R all. We call it like R R R. Okay? Make sure R, R. All right. You should be able to pronounce ara. You should be very able to pronounce R because R plays a very important alphabet in pronouncing word. All right. In pronouncing word. For example, that just now I told you parrot, right? Parrot. If you have L, you can just say palette. Palette. But the R, alright, but the R is giving you a more intense, more stress. Okay, more stress on the R. R. Alright, more stress on the R. So if you are not able to pronounce the word R or not able to do like this, R, 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 you should learn. Yes, you should do a lot of practice of using or pronouncing the word R because R plays a very major, all right, very major um, importance. Okay, R is very important. So we should be specialized in the word R. Okay, if you're not like not specialized, maybe you could try. Okay, maybe you could try. Without trying, would know, we won't know, right? So we could try R. R. Okay, another different word for R would be rat. See, rat. R, 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 rat. 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 Okay, again, rat. Okay, another word for R could be run. Can you see? Run. We don't say run. We don't say, can you just run? No, we call it, we pronounce the word. We stress the R. Okay, we stress the R. Like run. Run. Okay? Ride. Okay, ride the bike, right? So, ride. Ride. All right. Wait, huh? Okay. And then before the word R, we were supposed to pronounce Q. Okay, unfortunately, since teacher could not, share screen and stuff, I did miss this Q, sorry. Okay, so for Q, okay, for Q, how are we going to pronounce the word Q? Okay, how? Q, right? Q. So when we pronounce the word Q, okay, Q, you use the K and U. Okay, you use the K and U. Okay, try again. Q, Q, Q. Okay, Q. So for Q, all right, for Q, we pronounce it like how? Queen, right? Queen. You know what is queen, right? Queen. Okay, so it's queen. Okay, in phonics letter, we spell it like this. Queen. Okay, we pronounce it like this. Queen. Kwen. This is in the phonics letter. Okay, wordings. But in the real word, we spell Queen. Alright? Queen. Again, queen. Okay. Another word for queen, we could say quiet. 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 Okay, it's the same. KW, quiet. UAIT. This would be in the phonics words. Okay, phonics words. So queen. How we pronounce it? Queen. Okay, queen. Okay, so after Q, it's R. Right, R, we are done with our R. Remember, rat, rabbit. Okay, make sure you know how to pronounce the word R. All right, as I told you, R is very important. So we pronounce it like R. Okay, R. All right. Okay, now we go to the word S. Okay, now we go to the word S. So I'm sure all of you know how to pronounce S because S is very common, right? Okay, so sorry. Okay, S is very common. All right, S is very common. So how do we pronounce S? Any idea? How do we pronounce S? Okay, how do we pronounce the word S? Okay, you close your mouth. Okay, you join the teeth. Okay, you give me this kind of sound. All right, so we call it. Okay, we call it again. Okay, now give me a word for S. What could it be? For S, we could say sun, right? Sun. S-U-N. Sun. Right, look at the sun in the morning. Sun. Okay, what about another word for S? Could be same. Right, same. Okay, again, same. Same. Okay, so other than same, sun, what else we could use? What else? We could use for S, we could use sell. Right, sell. Okay, I am selling this pen. So how do I pronounce sell? Right. Sell. Sell. Same. Okay? Got it? You got this, okay? It is very easy. So that is how we pronounce. Okay, we pronounce it like. Okay? Now, okay. Now, T. T. Okay? T. So for T, how do you do it? How? Think. How do you pronounce T? And what is the requirement? What we must do to pronounce T? What is it? T. Ta. 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 Okay? Ta. Now, you can take your hand and put in front of your mouth too. Okay? Ta. 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 Close your mouth. Okay? Close your mouth. Ta. Again. Ta. Okay. So, can you give me a few words that starts from the word T? Start from the word T and ends from the word T2. Okay. So for T, we can use telephone. Right. Telephone. Telephone. Okay? Telephone. Alright? Telephone. T. T. What else we could use for T? We could say television. Okay, we could say television. T. Okay, what else? We could say thank you. Right. How we thank? Thank. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now this is the T that start in front of a word. What about the N? Okay, what about the N? Okay, for N, we could use pet. Right, P-E-T, pet. Okay, pet. Right, P-E-T, pet. Okay, so what about cat? I was teaching you just now, right? Cat. Cat. C-A-T. Cat. Okay, you must close your mouth. Cat. Okay. Now, done with T, right? T is T. T. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, done with our T. Okay, now we go to the word U. Okay, we go to the word you. How are we going to pronounce you? Are you going to just say you? You. Are you just going to pronounce like you, right? So how do we pronounce umbrella? Umbrella? Because you said you. Is it right or wrong? It's wrong. Okay? That's not how we pronounce you. We pronounce you like how? How? What else you wordings do you have? Umbrella. Some more? University. Some more. Ukraine. Right. Ukraine. Oh, it's also you, right? Ukraine. Okay. So some of the you we can use as you. For example, university. Okay. For example, university. Okay, that is how we pronounce you. Some you we pronounce like um umbrella. Okay, umbrella. Excuse me. Umbrella. Okay. And then some you we pronounce it like how? Okay. Some you we pronounce it like how? University, umbrella, and then oh, right. Oh, Ukraine. Right. Oh, Ukraine. Okay. Oh, and then hold on now. Let me check one thing. Okay. Okay, now we go to V. V. Right. V. 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 Okay, your mouth is vibrating when you pronounce V. V. Like that. Okay, again. V. V. Vase. Okay, vase. Again, you do your mouth like this. Like that. Okay, vase. What else in V? What else we do have in V? Okay, vase. And then vet. Okay, vet. What is vet? Who is vet? Vet. V-E-T. Okay, vet. Sama, what else in the V? In the word V, what else do we have? Think, let's think. Very, very. You are very, very beautiful. Right? You are very, very. R-Y. Very. Very. What else? Okay, what else for we? Any idea? For we. What else we could use? We could use that. Volcano. Can you see my mouth is still the same, right? Vol. See? Volcano. Okay? Volcano. Vo. Volcano. Volcano. Okay, that is we. Okay, that is we. What about the next alphabet is? What is the next alphabet? W. Right, W. After V, it's W. So how do we pronounce W? What do we say? How do we pronounce W? Any idea? How do we pronounce W? Okay, so for W, okay, remember this. It's W, right? Okay. So for W, first we think of any words that start from W. It could be wall. Wall. This is a wall. Okay, this is a wall. Another one could be watch. Watch. Okay, watch. Where is your watch? Okay, watch. So when you pronounce wa, watch. Wow. Wow is also W-O-W. Wow. Right. Yes or no? Wow. That's how we pronounce our W. Okay. What else? What word we could use for W more? Think about it. Watch, wall, will, okay, win. See, win, win. Watch, okay, watch. From small, okay, your mouth will be very small here, like that. Watch. watch. Again, watch. Again, wait, wait. Okay, wait. Can you try pronouncing wait without making your mouth small? Can you try like this? Wait. Can't, right? Okay, because that's how you're supposed to pronounce W. Okay, that's how we pronounce W. Whale. Whale. You know the whale? Whale. Okay, what else? Win, whale, some more? Wait. Right, wait. Can you please wait for me? Okay, we pronounce it wait. Some more? Wait. Okay, what else for W we could say? Mm, waste. Do not waste the food. Right. Waste. 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 You must put your mouth like this. Like too small. Waste. Again. Waste. Waste. Okay, that's how you're supposed to use. Wait. What? Okay. What? See? What? Can you like pronounce what without doing your mouth like ooh like that? Can you try? Kind, right? Like ooh, kind. Okay, should not do our mouth like that. Like kind, right? I can't even like I'm trying to pronounce what without like making the mouth like ooh like that. What? What? Art. I can just say heart. I can just say heart. That is not even W. Yes. Okay. So now we go to the next word. Is X. Right. X. X. Okay. How do we pronounce X? Any idea? X. X-ray. Right. X-ray. X-ray. Okay. What else in X-ray? What else you could say? X-ray, right? So what else you could say? X-ray, we could say ex- exactly, exactly. Again, exactly. Okay, again, exactly. Okay, so that's how we pronounce X. Simple, right? Simple or not? What do you think? Is it simple or it's not simple? Or is it hard? Okay, now we go to what? After X. After X. What word we could use after X? Y, right? We use the word Y. Okay, Y. So for Y, how do you pronounce Y? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y, Y. Right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, it's not ear. Okay, it's yeah. All right. If O, Y O, we pronounce it yo. Y O, we pronounce it yo. Okay, so now for Y, what word is there for Y? Yell? Yes. Yell. Stop yelling. Yeah. Yeah. Why? E. Yeah. Right. Okay. Another one. Why it is York. Right. York. Do you eat York? York. Okay. York. All right. York. So for another word for another Y could be yes. See, I told you. Yeah. Yeah. So Y-E it's yes. Okay? Yes. Alright, again, Y-E is yeah. Alright? Yeah. Yo. You. Yeah. Okay? Now we go to the last word. Z. Yes. Now we go to Z. We use the word, we try to pronounce the word Z. We pronounce it like Z. 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 I can feel my tongue, my mouth, my whole mouth is vibrating. Z. Okay? Again? Z. Again? Z. Okay? Z. So the word for Z is zebra. Zebra. Right. Zebra. Okay? Zebra. Another word could be Zuri. You know? Zuri. Okay, Zuri. Zuri. Or else you could say zip. Right, zip. All right, so today we are done with our A until Z phonics. Okay, we are done with everything. Hope you understand. See you in the next class. Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Okay.